the cost that is involved in the whole thing. Nuclear power is the safest way of generating electricity, they say. But let me tell you, the experience is totally different. It is one of the most dangerous way of producing electricity, and it's so the whole nuclear establishment is shrouded in secrecy and mystery. Hundreds of nuclear scientists have committed suicide, and the news goes unreported. There are all kinds of troubles there. They completely sweep it under the carpet. They don't reveal, they don't discuss, they don't share with the civil society, with the people of India, not only here in India, around the world. Let me give you one example. You may have heard the name Yukiya Amano. Yukiya Amano was leading the International Atomic Energy Agency based in, I think, Vienna. Was leading the IAEA for several years, and he was the most vociferous votary advocate of nuclear power. But there is a irony in there. United Nations is against nuclear weapons, but it is for nuclear power. Yukiya Amano died recently. And let me read from this newspaper clipping. The IAEA said Amano died Thursday, this year July. Died last Thursday, but his family had asked the agency not to disclose his death until a family funeral had taken place Monday. It did not give a cause of death for Amano or say where he died. It did not give a cause of death for Amano or say where he died. You know why? He died of cancer. Why can't they tell the truth? The man was visiting so many nuclear facilities all over the world. Obviously he was exposed. Obviously he had died because of that. Tell the truth. Let the people know that even a UN official cannot be safe from a nuclear power plant, from a uranium mine, or from a nuclear facility, reprocessing facility, and other assorted establishments. This is the problem. They don't tell the truth. They don't share any information with the public. When the Kudankulam nuclear power plant was announced right after the Chernobyl accident in 1988, some of us protested against that. Right after the Chernobyl accident, no responsible government or leader would ever accept a project like that. Right after the Chernobyl accident, Rajiv Gandhi was welcoming that, and he was ready to establish that there in Kerala. But people of Kerala protested so vehemently, and the project was shifted to the southern tip of Tamil Nadu. The environmental impact assessment report was not given to the public. Safety analysis report, site evaluation report, the detailed project report, nothing was shared with the public. This is a democratic country. Many of us are educated. We may not be nuclear scientists or rocket scientists, but we do know what is good for us, our families, and our progeny. We do have intelligence. Even if the illiterate people do have some intelligence, they know what is good for them and what is not good for them. So as a government, it is their duty to give all this basic information to the public, and we demanded this report in 3 languages, Tamil, English and Malayalam, because we are very close to Kerala. So give this information to us in these 3 languages, if possible in Hindi too, and let the people discuss. If we cannot read and understand, we will find a way to read and understand. Give us this information. Let us discuss. Take an informed stand on the issue. If enough number of people accept this project that it is in the best interest of our people, our local community and the national society, by all means go ahead. Who are you and I? We cannot stand on the way. No information was given. We had to mobilize our own information by picking up all the different reports from newspaper clippings and all those things that we had to compile. As a matter of fact, there is a case happening right now in the Delhi High Court, which I filed some 7-8 years ago. I myself am the petitioner, asking for a copy of the site evaluation report. Site evaluation report describes the pros and cons of a particular site. There is nothing to hide. It's not national security information. There is nothing which puts the nation in jeopardy. What are the merits and demerits of this particular site? And that report hasn't been shared with the people even today. The case is still going on in the Delhi High Court. Maybe they may announce the judgment after I die. This is the situation. No information is given. People are not taken into confidence. We are expected to shut up and follow. This is fastest development. They know what is good for us. And they would ask us, we should oblige. Don't ask any questions. If you ask questions, you are standing on the way of national development. You may be called a Maoist, Naxalite, or a Tamil Tiger, or an American stooge, or foreign funded, urban Naxal, or a secessionist. That's the word they use in Tamil Nadu quite often, because they are so afraid of us that we used to see. Like Sanjay was talking this morning, they do everything really in all possible ways. Is this a democratic way of generating electricity? We've been talking about Nallamala uranium mine issue here. We went to the area yesterday, we met with a lot of people, and nobody seems to know anything about the project. There is so much reserve of uranium, they say, okay? Check the local people. The Chinchu or whoever they may be are intelligent enough to understand the repercussions of such projects, whether they are fisher people of India, or Chinchus, or some indigenous community, or women, children, youth, whoever they may be, they are intelligent enough. Now don't think that you should have a PhD in political science to take an informed decision on any issue. People of India are intelligent enough to know what is good or bad for them. And they can stand up for their right. And if they do, please respect. This is a goddamn democratic country. This is not one man's private estate. Give the information to the people of Nallamala region. Let them understand. If they say no, that means a no. That's the spirit of democracy. Suppose we find a lot of uranium, not uranium. God save me. If they find a lot of platinum and gold and diamond underneath the Rashtrapati Bhavan, will they go and demolish the Rashtrapati Bhavan? There's so much gold underneath the parliament. They're not going to do that. So the Adivasis and the indigenous people of India are dispensable. Right? You can do away with them. That is what is happening in Jharkhand, Chhattisgarh, here in Andhra Pradesh, Telangana. That is the wrong way of developing. And if you say that, you will become a Maoist. They say that nuclear power is the only way answer for climate change. Now, first of all, climate change is a wrong phrase. It is climate destruction. Destruction is a crime. Crime that you willingly do. It is not change. Everything has been completely changed, destroyed. So, climate destruction is a major issue. Poison air is a serious issue. But polluting the earth cannot be the answer. They say that nuclear power is the only answer for climate destruction, so they promote this nuclear power. Imagine the amount of cement that goes into the construction of a nuclear power plant. Imagine the amount of steel and electricity that go into the construction of a nuclear power plant. Where do they come from? From polluting source. After the plant runs for 40 to 60 years, it is going to be decommissioned. Where is the energy going to come from? Polluting sources. What are you going to do with the waste that is generated by a nuclear power plant? You are going to deal with them, handle them for several hundreds of years. Where is the energy going to come from for that? From polluting sources. So how can the nuclear power plant be the answer for climate destruction? Another blatant lie. The government and the nuclear establishments all over the world tell us. Nuclear generation kills the alternatives. That is another problem. Just take the United States, that promotes, especially after the Bush Jr.'s regime, administration, America has been heavily pushing this nuclear industry, and now we find out that clean energy resources supply more of America's electricity than coal for the first time in April this year. They have been dependent upon coal energy for a long time. In fact, when Donald Trump stood for election last time, he promised that he would revive the coal industry. Such a big industry that is in the United States, but now the clean energy resources have overtaken coal energy production. If that is the condition in the United States, should it be the situation all over the world so that we can reduce carbon emission? Should that be the way to go? Instead, they are pushing for coal power and other mainstream power generation in not only in this country and around the world. Now, Indian government is planning a nuclear mala. I'm sure you may have heard about Sagar Mala, Bharat Mala, and so many malas. You can imagine the Indian coast. We have 7,500 kilometer long coastline in this country. There are 3,600 coastal villages all along. They all engage in sustainable fishing. They do very little harm to the sea and to the environment. And what do? They contribute quite significantly and considerably to our food chain, to our food security. 1/3 of India relies upon this fish, not only for food but also for nutrition. When Dr. Manmohan Singh was the Prime Minister of India, he announced in the Parliament that 40% of our children born in India are born underweight and malnourished. 40%. Can you imagine? How can these children ever evolve into full human beings? How can they ever learn in the schools and colleges? How can they ever be productive citizens of this country? 1/3 of our country, almost 50 million people of this country are dependent on this seafood. In our country, in our part of the country, you can eat without rice and wheat, but you cannot eat without fish. That is the situation. Now, 3,600 coastal villages are engaged in this fishing industry. And when we set up all these nuclear power plants, thermal power plants, shipbreaking plants, and all kinds of destructive ports and other allied auxiliary industries, imagine what is going to happen to our seafood industry. They are thinking about setting up so many ports, mini ports, and around the port they would establish industrial clusters. And the things that are produced in this cluster will be transported to another port, and for that they are going to construct 4-lane, 6-lane, 8-lane roads, parallel railway track. We are going to lose considerable amount of land in these projects. Now, when all these new ports, these Sagarmala ports, are set up all along the coast, we are obviously going to lose the fish production. In fact, that's what they want. Just as our farmers are committing suicide, they want the fishermen to start killing themselves. Just as we are ignoring, neglecting the agricultural sector, they want to do the same thing to the fishing sector. They have just announced the Fishing Act 2019, I think, and by that they are putting so many restrictions on the fisher people about fishing. And they are letting the foreign trawlers do the fishing without any kind of conditions. So the situation is going to be much worse pretty soon. Now, if that is the case, what will be the impact? Leave alone food security and nutrition security. What will it do to us, our health? In Tamil Nadu, if you can imagine the Indian map, Kudankulam comes at the bottom, very near to Kanyakumari. A nuclear power park. Park. That's the phrase they use. Because they don't want to put any negative image in your mind. So when it is park, you'll see it's green, with butterflies and birds and animals singing and dancing, and you can go to a park and have fun with your family. That's a nuclear power park. You come up a little bit, Kalpaka, another park, where our Xi Jinping and our Narendra Modi had fun for 2 days. Very, very close to Kalpaka. Come up, Andhra Pradesh. They are planning a nuclear power park at Kavali, between Prakasam and Nellore districts. We went to Kavali, met with the people. People are really worried. Fisher people, very worried about the future of their villages, for their very survival. They are planning another power park at Kovada in Srikakulam district of Andhra Pradesh. Another one in Haripur, Purba Medinipur district in West Bengal. Now, in between, they are planning one in Odisha and all, but not announced yet. But they do have plans for such projects. Narendra Modi signed a deal with the Russians a couple of months ago for 20 reactors. 2 of them are going to come to us, Kudankulam, 6 at Kavali, 6 at Kovada, 6 at Haripur. So the whole Bay of Bengal is taken care of. You can imagine what these nuclear power plants will do because of thermal pollution and radioactive contamination. When these power plants work 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, all throughout the year for 40 to 60 years, turning out radioactive contaminated water which is hot, and dump all this water into the sea, what do you think will happen? We will lose the fish. Even today, the fishermen around Kalpakam have lost their livelihood. Local people will buy that fish because of their convoluted forms and all kinds of deformities. They don't want to eat the fish. They have serious problems. So you can imagine the whole Bay of Bengal will be boiling without any kind of seafood. Kerala people are very clear about this, and all the Kerala politicians and political parties are uniform in taking the decision against the nuclear power plant. Whether Congress or Communists, they stand united. But they are intelligent people. Karnataka, there is Kaiga, huge nuclear power complex. There is one in Tarapur in Maharashtra. They are planning another one in Jaitapur with French technology. It's a major nuclear complex in Jaitapur, Ratnagiri district in Maharashtra. They planned another one in Miti in Bhavnagar district in Gujarat. Another interesting thing happened. I been to Miti. Miti means sweet water. Miti, sweet, Virdi, water in Gujarati language. I've been there. People of Miti said No, we don't want nuclear power plants. You know what the hyper-nationalistic sons and daughters, no, not daughters much, hyper-nationalistic sons of Bharat Mata did? They cancelled the project. They cancelled the damn project that was going to come up in Niti. So if Gujaratis protest against a nuclear power plant, they can win. But if you and I will protest against a plant or uranium mining, we will be inviting serious cases. This is the double justice, double standard of justice that's happening in this country. Now, where are we heading? Don't we need development? Yes, we do. We are asking some simple questions. Whose development? What kind of development? What is the cost of such development? Whose development? Adani's and Ambani's and Anil Agarwal's development cannot be your and my development. The fish workers, farmers, weavers, workers, women, children, Adivasis, and the youth of our country have a totally different understanding of development. That is the development they want, sustainable development. We can pass on our resources to the successive generations. We just don't have the moral legitimacy to establish a nuclear power plant, enjoy the electricity, light up all our airports and railway stations, and dump this waste on our children and their children. They will be stuck with this nuclear waste for the next 48,000 years. Even if the nuclear power plant functions normally, without any problem, it will be churning out all kinds of radioactive particles. Cesium, strontium, tellurium, tritium, iodine, several different atomic weights. So all these things will be spread by air and through the water effluents. What do you think will happen? Do you think nothing will happen? If you talk to the nuclear authorities, they say, oh, nothing. Very minimal. How much is very minimal? They would never acknowledge that you and I can understand this nuclear physics. What did they do? Now that kind of top-down approach is very problematic, very bothering. Acknowledge the intelligence of our people. Now, when all these things happen for the next 40 to 60 years, we will do some help. Come to Kolkata. If any of you are interested in this issue, please do come with me to Kolkata. I will take you around. We can walk down any street around Kolkata. Every other household will have a woman with thyroid cancer or thyroid related issues. Women particularly are affected more. Children, multiple myeloma, blood cancer, bone cancer, Down syndrome, mental retardation, kidney issues. You can imagine, you really cannot imagine the plight of the people around this facility. This is not the case just in India. I have traveled all over France, visiting all the different nuclear power plants. Believe me, wherever I went, I talked to the local people and they all said in unison that they had serious health troubles and problems, but they could not prove their case. Way of proving that look, this was the case before the plan came up and this is the situation now, so you can compare that there's a high incidence of cancer now. We cannot able to do that because we are so preoccupied and busy with all kinds of livelihood issues. It is the state that has to take care of these issues. The state should act like a father or mother, but the state is behaving like a mercenary now. The state is working for foreigners, for American companies, Russian companies, French companies. They are buying uranium, uranium from all these countries. Namibia. Open one nuclear power plant. Australia is the major supplier of uranium. They have the largest reserve of uranium in their country, but they don't have one single nuclear power plant so far. So you can imagine the Australian government is working for their people and not our government. That is the situation. Now leaving that falling uranium, they also want to dig out uranium from all over the country. There is this major operation going on in Jadugada, in Jharkhand. I've been there so many times. Believe me, I am not exaggerating. I am not lying to you. I have seen with my own eyes children with all kinds of deformities. Standard children. I have seen women suffering from all kinds of issues. It was not just like a touristic visit, go and see and come out. We stayed there in a friend's place, we recorded, we talked to them. The tailing ponds, like the 2-3 football ground size tailing ponds, are leaking in all sides. And the children are playing by the side of these tailing ponds and get exposed. Groundwater is badly contaminated. The women are using that water for cooking and bathing, for washing and everything. They don't know. Nobody has told them. Nobody has told them, look, this is the project that we have built in the midst of your community, and these are the possible repercussions. You either get out of this place or do something. No, it is their traditional land, and they cannot go anywhere. Where do you expect them to go? It is their land. It is their traditional home, their history, their survival, their identity, their freedom. Their whole existence is based on that land. Where will they go? They transport this yellow cake, the ore, the uranium ore from the mine to the processing unit, and believe me, the trucks were not covered. And major chunks of this ore was falling all over the road. I myself saw that. I myself stamped on the chunks. Could be damaging, could be radioactive, because there are elements. As long as they lie buried underneath the earth, they may not do any harm. But when you dig them out and put them out in the open, obviously they are going to hurt you in some possible way. So reckless, so irresponsible, so careless. It was lying all over the place, and all the roads you can see a huge amount of this ore lying strewn all over. It is taken to the mill, processed, and that dirty, dangerous waste is filled on these tailing ponds, remaining there forever, contaminating the air, water, land, food, gets into the food chain. The helpless people have nowhere to go. Who will they go? Who will they complain? They don't even know what is going on. Standing there with Meera, Rajesh and other friends, Sundar from Chennai, yesterday in the Nalamala Hills area, I really felt sorry for those people. Development. Adani's, Ambani's, Anil Agarwal's development cannot be the development of the Chintu people. Cannot be the development of Adivasis with Jadugada. They are doing that in Tummalapalli, I heard. I wanted to visit that place for a long time, but we have been so busy with our own court cases and all that. So tomorrow, Jayashree is going to take me to Tummalapalli. I want to see this. From mining, from processing, nuclear power plant, and from nuclear power plant, dump yards. Where are we going to keep all this waste? God alone knows. And then the plutonium that comes from the nuclear power plants are going to be used for the bomb program, nuclear bombs. nuclear power and nuclear bombs are both sides of the same coin. We oppose nuclear bomb because it is immoral, it is deadly, it is inhuman, and as the land of Buddha, Ashoka, Mahavir, Guru Nanak, Buddha, Mahatma Gandhi, Mother Teresa, and all kinds of people, I really feel ashamed that this killing capability is going to make us a superpower. Who wants to be a superpower? Congress Party was the one that did this nuclear first test in 1974 when Mrs. Gandhi was the Prime Minister. They often say that look, the modern nuclear power plants are all safeguarded. The International Atomic Energy Agency and other UN agencies keep stock. They keep record of all the plutonium that the nuclear power plants produce, so you cannot really cheat them. And just as they inspected Saddam Hussein's Iraq for weapons of mass destruction, the inspection team can walk into your country and take stock. You know all that nonsense. Now, where did the plutonium come from for the 1974 test, you think? From a safeguarded plant. Our scientists lied. They lied between the teeth. They used plutonium from a safeguarded plant for the bomb. 74. 98. BJP government, Vajpayee government did the second test. There's hardly any difference between these two parties, of course, but these guys are even more dangerous than the other. You know why? Because from 1967 election manifesto onwards, BJP, that time it was Bharatiya Janata, BJS, Bharatiya Janata and Hindu Mahasabha mentioned in their election manifesto that nuclear bomb, atom bombs, they used that, the phrase they used was atom bomb. We must produce atom bombs. Both the Mahasabha, Hindu Mahasabha, Akhil Bharat Hindu Mahasabha, and the Bharatiya Janata talked about Hindu nationalism, minorities giving up separate national consciousness, separatist demands, uniform civil code, Ram Janmabhoomi, Krishna Janmasthan, Vishwanath Temple in Varanasi. All these issues were mentioned in the manifestos of these two parties in 1967. Mahasabha was very proud of championing the necessity of militarization. Militarize the Hindudom, Hinduize the military was the slogan of Savarkar. They were happy about championing militarization. Believe me, compulsory military training, military service is coming our way pretty soon. They were happy that their president, P.S. Munje, established the military academy in the country for the first time. They pleaded increase in defense budget, defense preparation on gigantic scales, produce, increase the military strength, keep ready, be ready for warfare anytime, and demand manufacturing nuclear weapons. We must have atom bombs so that we can be a powerful actor in the international arena. We will be a superpower. So this kind of nuclear paranoia has been going on for some time. Right after the Pokhran 2 test in 1998, Prime Minister Vajpayee wrote a letter to the US President Bill Clinton. You know what he said? He said China was the reason for India's coming out of the nuclear closet. He never mentioned Pakistan. It was China. The BJP government developed a nuclear doctrine, and I quote, the nuclear doctrine, the fundamental purpose of Indian nuclear weapons is to deter the use and threat of use of nuclear weapons by any state or entity against India and its forces. We will not be the first to initiate a nuclear strike, but will respond with massive retaliation should difference fail. India will not resort to the use or threat of use of nuclear weapons against states which do not possess nuclear weapons or are not aligned with nuclear weapons powers. Then no first use, NFU. We will not use nuclear weapons first. Was a principled position Vajpayee government took right after the second test. Now that has been relegated to the back burner now. Rajnath Singh, many others have spoken about that. They are going to revise it, and we are facing with the threat of a nuclear Armageddon. It is not just a uranium mining operation in our neighborhood. It is a complete extinction of our country, which is at stake here now. My friend M.V. Ramana and others wrote a book called Bombing Bombay. If Pakistan dropped a bomb on Bombay, or if India dropped one on Lahore, both countries will be wiped out. They say mad, mutually assured destruction. We both will be destroyed ourselves. Now, who would want to prepare all these nuclear weapons? These nuclear weapons have not helped us to deter Kargil war. Nuclear weapons have not helped contain the insurgencies. Nuclear weapons have not helped us stop infiltrators infiltrating into India. Then why the hell do we keep all these bombs? Why? At such a massive cost for the maintenance, for the upkeep, for the delivery, for the intelligence. Can you imagine the amount of money, time, energy, and national resources that we put into these killer machines? For what? Zawada Wilson was talking about this morning. We haven't managed to provide a decent, dignified life to our people. 1/3 of our country still goes hungry. Half of the country lives or barely lives, scrapes along. That would be a better phrase. Half of the country scrapes along with less than 20 rupees a day. We haven't managed to provide safe drinking water to all the people. We saw some of the people in Nalamala, in some of the villages yesterday. It would take several decades for them to get safe drinking water. Actually, they are a lot more developed than some of the villages I have been to in the northern part of the country. It takes centuries for them to catch up with us, with those of us who are in the southern states. Now, how can we justify all these things? Energy production, security of the country. What is security after all? We are not safe from hunger. We are not safe from diseases. We are suffering from all kinds of problems. You cannot safely walk on the pathway, sidewalk of any city in this country. An older person or a school child cannot walk safely in any of our cities or even small towns in this country. We are talking about national security, financial security, and all that nonsense. Now, let me come to a point that Sir asked me to talk about. What do we do? How do we do? When we started organizing against the Korangal nuclear power plant, it was definitely not in my backyard principle. We took a very principled position that India, as a highly and densely populated country, cannot afford to have this technology. Why? Because we are highly populated and very densely populated. Can you imagine a Fukushima happening in India? Japan is very developed, far more superior in science and technology, has a lot more decent government. They follow democracy. You can walk up to any ministry and protest. Raise your voice. Talk to anyone. If a country like that, Japan, is reeling under the pressure of this Fukushima accident, can you imagine what will happen to us? I really shudder at that thought. God save us. Our nature save us. what kind of thinking that we had. We took a principled stand that India doesn't need this technology, but we couldn't go on to fight against this demon in Tumalapalli, Nalgonda, Jadugora, all over. We concentrated on the Kurandwar issue. First of all, we educated the public. We a small group of people, some 10 people, including some 5 women. We would go to a small town in our district or the neighboring districts and beat the drum, attract some attention from the local people. A small crowd would gather, and then we would sing 1 or 2 songs and talk to them about nuclear power, about uranium mining, about nuclear bomb combined as a whole, nuclear power as a whole, nuclear energy as a whole, and tell them what would happen when the Kurandwar nuclear power plant goes into operation in full swing. After a couple of hours, very cost effective operation, nothing sensational, nothing fantastic. We would spend hardly 100 or 200 rupees, and that was it. We didn't do anything substantial, anything significant, but we kept the issue alive. We educated the public. Meera Short gave me a book, look, Radiation Facts. This is the thing that we did. We published small handbills, leaflets, pamphlets with some pictures and very down to earth language, and language which ordinary people read and understand. We would go to a village. God would take a big shopper. I would take this street. My friend would take the other street. We would walk down, distribute these flyers to all the households. Because we don't want to stand next to the bus station and people would be in a hurry and throw away. But if we take the message to their homes, they would sit down and read. At least someone in the household would read. So people would read, understand, educating the public constantly, continuously. That we did. We never let the issue die down. What did the state do? The state ignored. We enjoyed that ignorance. They did not acknowledge, well and good. We kept on working, they kept on ignoring us, it went on. Then when it reached the point that they could not ignore us anymore, they started insulting us. At the height of the Kurandwar struggle, this is what exactly we did. We kept the campaign going, and then they reached the point when they did the hot run. The experimental run of the plant, it produced so much noise and fumes and smoke and steam. People jumped out of their houses. They said, look, we cannot live with this demon for the next 40 to 60 years. We are ready to fight against it. Then they called us. See, if we keep on working, the invitation will come. Then they called us. Can you come down and work with us? We went down, we struggled with them, we worked with them. We made the issue a nationwide issue, because even when the India-US nuclear deal was signed back in 2005 when Manmohan Singh was the Prime Minister, there was hardly any debate in the National Parliament. National Parliament had very little debate. Only the CPI, CPM comrades asked a few questions. Other than that, they came out of the government also, as you may remember. Otherwise, there was hardly any debate. There was hardly any debate in the national media, but the fishermen, the farmers, the Dalits and women of our area made that possible. All over India, people started talking about the nuclear issue. So we kept the issue alive and kept the campaign going. That was the only significant contribution we did. We were not superheroes, we were not cinema actors, or sports heroes, or rich political gurus like our Sadhguru. Very rich. They can bring rivers, they can do magic. So we did. We were not anything like that. We did. Then we kept talking to the political leaders, educating the political leaders. Political leaders don't know anything. Really, so serious. I have talked to some of the MPs and MLAs in our part. You will be amazed. We talk to the people, we talk to the leaders. I myself went to the National Parliament a couple of during UPA 2 regime. I printed 2-page handout in Tamil and took it to Delhi and met with all our MPs. We have 39 and 1 in Pondicherry, 40 MPs, met with them personally, all by myself. We didn't even have family that time. Handed it over, talk to them. This kind of low-key, low-cost campaigns, educating the leaders. And as a result of that, at the height of the Kudankulam struggle, except 6 political parties, all the other political parties and movements threw their weight with us. They all came and supported us. Except 6. And you can imagine who the 6 would be. Congress, BJP, DMK, ADMK, unfortunately CPI and CPM. But now, after this persistent campaign and conversation, we had a meeting with Sitaram Yechury recently in Delhi. Now they are changing their position a little bit. We are against nuclear power parks, but still they support nuclear power plants. This preoccupation with science and technology and all that. So CPI and CPM are still dragging their feet. I don't know why. We are not against science and technology. We don't want to take the whole country to medieval India, medieval age. But that's what we say. We want science. But what kind of science? People's science. If the science helps the people lead a better, dignified life, we are all for that people's science by any means. But not for the state science. Unfortunately, our left parties do not understand. Except these 6 parties, all other parties fail. We have a problem with the politicians. If they see more than 100 people, they have to come and talk. So we have 30,000 people here. So who wouldn't want? Who wouldn't want to come and lecture them? They all came down. So this kind of political campaign. Jayalalitha was in favor of the struggle. I went with her. We went with her as a group. And I was the one who talked to her for 40 minutes in chaste English. I was very nervous. I've never met any of these fellows, in my entire life. And I always never wanted to meet them. But unfortunately, I was pushed in that position. So I was sitting right in front of Jayalalitha, shaking and shivering. And but she dealt with me very nicely. She talked to me for 40 minutes about nuclear power, energy issues, energy production, Tamil Nadu politics, and all of that. Revolving around the energy issue. Jayalalitha was very much in favor of us. I can tell because a few years ago, even when the Kudankulam campaign was not taking place, she objected to the docking of the American nuclear powered ship USS Nimitz in the Chennai harbor. She said, this is a danger that we are putting the Chennai people to. So she objected to the docking of the American nuclear powered ship. So I knew that she had some information about nuclear power and the harms of it. So she was supportive. But unfortunately, I also heard here that your state assembly here in Telangana has passed a resolution. But unfortunately, state political leaders cannot stick to their stand for long. Because it is decided in Delhi. The Delhi elites control the whole damn thing. KTR made a statement. And I was very keen to meet with him, sought appointment. He refused to meet with us. Your governor, Dr. Thamlisai Soundararajan, is another peculiar case. At the height of the struggle, I called her from my phone. I got the number from somebody, I called her. And I explained to her, introduced myself and talked to her, Akka, please, you have to take a position against in this matter, in this issue. And she said, in English, she said, and she's from my district, by the way, nice woman. As a medical doctor, this is what she said, I still remember the phrase, it's drilled into my brain. As a medical doctor, I cannot support a nuclear power plant. Really, seriously, go ask her. I sought an appointment to meet with her also, but she wouldn't meet with me. I was happy. I was really exuberant. I said, good, why don't you make this statement? Because that would be a huge moral victory for us. The BJP chief of Tamil Nadu taking a stand against nuclear power. I really asked her, please issue a statement. She wouldn't. She said, I cannot speak against the party's policy. See this dualistic existence, these 4 people. One life for their conscience, another life for the party. Go meet with her. Tell her that she has to names of people who are suffering in her own village called Agasthiswaram, very close to Kodangallur nuclear power plant. So we educated the public, we educated the leaders, we talked to them, we were very willing to talk to anyone, even if there is no audience. You know, this is a huge audience for me. I'm used to talking to the walls, standing on the roadside, talking, keep the issue, keep the issue alive. And then never compromise. The government would completely ignore you, and then when you become a pestering problem, they would start insulting you. That's why I said, calling you Urban Maxwell, American stooge, I got money from America, we are hatching a conspiracy with America to prevent India's development, and all that nonsense. They would insult you like anything. Third, you still persist to the issue. Don't worry about the success or failure. We have been doing it for more than 20 years. Believe me, we never thought that we would come to this point that my friends in Hyderabad would invite me to give a talk in Balagoba Memorial Lecture. As a matter of fact, if I had known that this struggle would become this powerful and we would be so strong like this, I would have run away from the scene a long back. Because I was not meant for this kind of thing. Keep persisting with the issue without worrying about the consequences. If you are honest, if you are sincere, if you are committed, you will reap success. I am very sure about that. Because we are able to make some inroads into the policy circles now. We have convinced hundreds of thousands of people in our country, all over the country now. So we kept the issue alive, we kept talking, and we also kept the campaign alive. Keep working, keep doing something. Never rest. The state did the other thing. You know what they did? They started intimidating us, putting false cases on you. I'm sure if you go to Nalamala and protest against the uranium mine issue, you would face cases. Not ordinary types of cases. 120. Waging war on the state. There are 20 cases on me. 120 cases. Waging war. We are not Naxalites, we are not Maoists. I haven't even touched a rifle in my entire life. Waging war on the state. Sedition. 19 sedition cases. 121A. All the serious cases. Just to intimidate you. 380 cases. Passport impounded. Till date, I don't have my passport for the past 7 years. Bank accounts frozen. Properties damaged. Elderly parents, wife and children harassed by the intelligence agencies. I'm sure there must be some intelligence officers here taking notes. I'm not lying. Complete surveillance. 24 hours a day, constant monitoring of your movements, surveillance. It is a police state. Seriously. They will be monitoring if there are officers here or not, but we are all under the scanner. If you protest against this uranium mine issue, nuclear power issue and all that, they will be constantly monitor you, they will put false cases on you, but never mind what they can do. What else? What's wrong? If at all they can do something, they will put me in prison for a couple of months, couple of weeks, couple of months. And then what? This intimidation will not work. As long as we are sincere, committed, serious about this issue, like our hero Bal Gopal here, nothing will happen. Vasudha Lakshmi was explaining to me over the lunch that how badly he was beaten, how badly he was intimidated, all of that. It's part of the game. They can't do anything. Don't be worried about the cases. If you have a lot of people with you, they will be afraid of touching you. Why do you think I'm standing here in Hyderabad, all alone? I have people over there. If they do something to me, it will get reflected. I have hundreds of thousands of fisher people, farmers, Dalits, women, who are supporting me, supporting the cause. It's not me, it's the cause. So don't be intimidated about these cases, about the state harassment. The state harasses you because, you know what is at stake for them? Billions of dollars. Vladimir Putin knows where Korangal is. American presidency knows all about these issues. These these powerful countries and their corporate houses, they all know what we are doing. It's a multi-billion-dollar business. It has to do with our so-called national security. National security, the rich people's security, the upper class security, the elite security, the national leader security. National security doesn't cover you and me. That we have to be very clear. So obviously they have a lot to lose and they will be worried about you. They will monitor you. They will do surveillance. They will do all kinds of harassment. So only one thing you can do, which I consciously did, was even when I entered this issue, I knew very well that I would be under surveillance, under the police radar. So I kept my tax papers intact. I kept all my records clear, and I was very careful about my personal character and discipline. Seriously, I can't even afford to go and have a bottle of beer. You have to be careful. I mean, you have to be moralistic. You have to be moral. You have to be clear of all these things, because you cannot do this dualistic existence like your daughter does. Speak one thing and stick to that. That should be our principle. And I think that's a lesson we learn from people like Balapapa. We cannot have this wishy-washy kind of behavior and get away with it. So as long as you are sincere, committed, serious about this issue, obviously nothing will happen. They cannot do anything. What will happen in the future? Now, this will not, our success will not become ripe and fall on our lap. It's a hard uphill task. Keep struggling. Maybe we may have to struggle all our lives. They may not let us go that easily. They may not change the policy that soon or that easily. But we shouldn't give up hope. Being hopeful is part of the game. Despite all odds, how can be a human being hopeful in this country right now? How can any one of us be hopeful? The politics that we have, the economic recession that we face, with the social degradation that is seeping in, how can one be optimistic? No, don't be optimistic. And should we be pessimistic? No. Even if you are not optimistic, it's okay, but please don't become pessimistic. Because if you are pessimistic, you will give up. You won't fight. You won't struggle. You won't stand up. You won't feel motivated to get out of the house and do something. By all means, please don't be pessimistic. What do you mean? You cannot be optimistic and you can't be pessimistic? What the hell can you be? Be possibilistic. Be possibilistic. Do something every single day. It may not be spectacular. It may not be high risk, high activity. Do something. Take one day at a time. Speak to the media. Write a column in the newspaper. Write a letter to KCR, KTR, and all one of his family members. Write to the governor, who have graciously sent to you. Write a letter to the editor, one short paragraph. Please stop this damn thing, we don't want that damn thing. Right next to us. 140 kilometers from here. Hardly 150 kilometers. If they start digging, all of you will be, breathing that poison. We had a friend yesterday with Meera Rajesh, and I had a friend with us, Sundar from Chennai. He was telling the people of Chennai that Chennai gets the water from Krishna river. So if the Nalanda project goes on, that water catchment area of the Krishna River or tributaries will be affected by this uranium poisoning, radioactivity. And obviously, the river water that comes to Chennai will be radioactive. So in the morning, we will not be just drinking tea or coffee. We will not be drinking just the coffee, we will also be drinking radioactivity. So, little bit of coffee and little bit of radioactivity. Now that's how we have to be creative. We have to be creative, we have to be original, we have to keep talking, and, be possibilistic. Don't give up. Don't give up. This is a duty. This is a duty. As an educated human being in this country, 120 million people, half of them are illiterate. Half of them do not have the physical energies to stand up. 40% children born underweight and malnourished. Why are they born undernourished and malnourished and underweight? Because the pregnant mother or the lactating mother didn't get enough nutrition. Why didn't that pregnant mother and lactating mother didn't get enough nutrition? The damn family is poor. Poverty. Underdevelopment. Lopsided development paradigm. This nonsensical trickle down and all that new nonsensical policies and projects. There's so many things. So be possibilistic, stand up, gather around a group of people. As Sanjay Kant was telling us this morning, that they gave instruction to the police authorities that arrest everyone who has the charisma to gather 20 people. Gather 20 people. You don't have to gather 200 people or 2,000 people. If you manage to gather 20,000, 2 lakh people, you will become another KCR. So we don't want you. Only 20 to 200. 20 to 200. You will go more than 200, less than 20. Gather people, educate. Talk to them. Nothing spectacular may happen. If I talk to my family members, if I talk to my colleagues in the workplace, or in the church, in the temple, in the mosque, something will happen. Nothing spectacular may happen immediately. But never mind, as our Bhagavad Gita says, do your duty. Don't worry. I have to very honest. Don't worry about the fruits. I'm trying to come to terms with this struggle-oriented existence. Causes a lot of difficulties to your family, of course. The family has to bear the brunt of it. And when you pay, the family also will have to pay something. There is a cost for all of these things. But some of us, as Margaret Mead said, never underestimate the strength of a small group. A small group of people can do miracles. And I am very sure and optimistic, that is possibilistic, that we, the educated citizens of this country, will one day make some meaningful changes happen. And then, in that country, we will not have nuclear power plant, uranium mines, dumping sites, and nuclear bombs. We will be very proud of our Indian heritage, a heritage of non-violence, heritage of cooperation, communal living, and peacefulness. Thank you. And as an educated citizen, I have a PhD in political science. Not many people in this country have managed to travel to 35 countries, get a PhD degree in political science, get Western education, and know the intricacies and the complexities of our policy making and all of that. So this gives some kind of a moral responsibility for me to know what I to share what I know with the people. So I don't term it as a courage, I term it as a duty, as a duty of an educated Indian citizen. This is my democratic duty. So I really don't worry about my safety, security, or any of that. What can they do? What can they do? The maximum thing they can do? Kill me. I would die anyway. And now I am going to approach 60, my children are grown up. What is there to be afraid of death? So if you are not afraid of death, death will never come to you. That's another secret, I think. So no, seriously, we are speaking the truth, and we are doing it as a duty, and we have lots of wonderful human beings with us. So we need to worry only about the path, not the destination. The end does not justify the means here. We have to keep walking. And yes, a lot of problems. I don't want to romanticize, of course. A lot of problems. They found in my passport, my wife's passport. My wife and I don't have bank accounts even today. Because the poor woman, she also lost her passport because of me. Sedition cases on me, not just me, my wife, and even my 83-year-old father. They're all seditious. So this kind of harassment keeps on going, they keep doing all that. But you reach a point when these things don't bother you anymore. Like I don't know if you have come across this situation. In some countries, they persecute people on the basis of their faith. If you do that, that's the biggest blunder you do. Because the more you prosecute, the stronger they become in their beliefs. Exactly what you are doing in Kashmir, as Sanjay pointed out this morning. If at all you want to make some changes, you have to win those people over. How will you win those people over? By beating them up? By locking them up? No, that's the stupidest thing to do. So this kind of persecution, harassment, constant harassment, make you stronger, make you more convinced. Then you think, oh, I see. If this is making Manmohan Singh and Narendra Modi angry and upset, obviously I am doing something good. So I should do more. Nothing to be afraid of. This is a democratic country. This is not Hitler's Germany or Mussolini's Italy or Idi Amin's Uganda or Pol Pot's Cambodia or Rajapaksa's Sri Lanka. This is democratic India. So I am exercising my rights. I have heard from my friends and also I have read in newspapers. All I heard and learned about is negative about dealing with uranium and nuclear power. So what is it, that positive thing which is driving the government and this industrialist to go with it? Accept that money, because even if I have an industrialist, I don't willing to do like opening up a nuclear industry because I need to go there. I will be exposed. So what is that driving force behind this nuclear industry? Those who are intelligent and those who are idiots. We are all idiots. The intelligent men know what is good for us, and they will decide what is good for us. This is the Gabonian thinking. Obviously, not all of them may be evil-minded. Some of them may really think that this is good. That is what the international financial institutes talk about, trickle down. If you keep producing more Adanis, more Anil Agarwals, more of these people, it will trickle down a little bit. And we will all be enjoying the trickle down effects of economy. This kind of trickle down thinking. If you produce more Sagarmala, Bharatmala, nuclear mala, atomic agraharas, and that's a good place, atomic agraharas. So if you bring on doing all these things, they really think that we will find our salvation. Simple philosophy of colonization. How did the British come here? to make us all educated, empowered, make us all rich and powerful? No. They came to plunder us and to enrich themselves. Right? And we are doing the same thing to the weaker section of our society. The indigenous people, Adivasis, Dalits. That is why we are going for these hills and pillars of Chhattisgarh, Jharkhand, Andhra Pradesh, Telangana. These people are, in our thinking, underdeveloped. They are helpless. They don't know what development is all about. But they are sitting on something that we need. Just like the British came to India, trying to plunder our resources, we are going to their areas, trying to plunder their resources. This colonial mentality. And they really think that their way of thinking is the right one. Why? Because of power. They have the political power. And you will not gain political power unless or otherwise you begin to think like them. That is why most political parties buy into this Western development paradigm. This Western development paradigm, the so-called white civilization, did all the damage. Indigenous societies have a better understanding of nature. They were living in harmony with nature. Man is superior to nature. That thinking comes from the West. We never, as indigenous people, never thought that we are the key man and the masters of the universe. No, we were part of the universe. We still consider ourselves as part of the Chenchu people we talk to. No, they don't consider themselves as the master of civilization. They don't consider themselves as master of all the animals, birds and fish and the reptiles. No. So it's basically our point of view, our value system, our assumptions, our perceptions. Why do Narendra Modi and Amit Shah and all Rajnath Singh and people like them will not accept our way of thinking? Because it gives them power. They are in power. They want to retain the power. The elites, the national elites want to retain the power. Where does power come from? Money. Where does the money come from? Corporates. What do you have to do? Work for the corporates. Do what the corporates ask you to do. If you can imagine a nation state as a square, this is Mahatma Gandhi's imagery, by the way. These are people. People form the most fundamental unit in the nation state. Without people, you cannot build a nation state. And people themselves cannot lead their lives. They need a flagship for the state. And the state has the legislature, bureaucracy, judiciary, everything. Now the people and the state cannot function by themselves. They need economic resources, economy. And these three cannot make the correct, fulfill the whole thing. They need international recognition. They decide these people have legitimately selected them as the state, the flagship of the state. So this is a complete square of a nation state. Now what is happening? The leaders who were coming from the people, who were working for the people, like a good father or a good mother, like Gandhi, like Kamraj, like many other leaders in this country, were working with the people hand to hand. They felt like a father or mother. They worked for the people. But all of a sudden, this economy has become all the more dominant thanks to globalization, liberalization, and privatization. Adanis and Ambanis and Anil Agarwals here started funding their election. So the relationship became very strong. People were left out. Now this two-some relationship considers the people as a problem. Because there are people like Balagopal, you and I, are asking unnecessary questions and standing up, asking questions about this illegitimate relationship. So you and I become Naxals and Maoists. This is a simple thing. It is not people-oriented anymore. It is profit-oriented. That is why Noam Chomsky wrote the book, Profit Over People. So in this scheme of things, it will be like this. Now we are trying to tell them, look, this is not the right way of doing. Empower the people. Let the people decide. Democratic decision making. Collective bargaining. sustainable development. All these things we are talking about. I don't know if I answer the question, but this is the fundamental problem. Pardon me? Leaders of the corporations, yes, settle down. They really think that if the corporations become huge and profitable and all that, they will keep making more money, and then the poor people down there, it's like a pyramid structure, They think who are at the top of the pyramid think that look, we have to keep the pyramid very strong so that the people at the bottom will gain. Look, why people in Ecuador right now are fighting against International Monetary Fund. They won't get. Corporate leaders don't come and stay there. Department of Atomic Energy, where do you think is the headquarters? Mumbai. Not in Kodangallur, not in Alamala. Corporate leaders, most of the decisions are taken behind doors, faraway places. New York and London are the actual capital cities of this world. The corporate houses are based in big cities, in cities like Chennai and Hyderabad. They don't come down to these villages and do anything. They know to protect themselves, physically, mentally, emotionally, psychologically, all of that. Same is true for political leaders. When at the height of the Kodangallur struggle, we invited all the political leaders who supported nuclear power to come down and live with us in Kodangallur. We said we would give you free housing, free water, free electricity, everything would be free. Please come and live with us. Nobody could do that.
This
is the problem. Do you understand that? The problem that I see from myself, I would like to invite others who know here any of the other languages, including Tamil. Of course, I can speak in Hindi, I can speak in German, I can speak in Bengali, I can speak in Punjabi. But I think many of the people here will not understand that. And of course, Marathi is another tongue. मेरा ये कहना है कि the reason the message is not reaching the politicians as well as the individual people is because they prefer to be silent because they see a personal benefit in not being exposed to the truth and the reality. And they are facing, like our old Niemöller's quotation that I will use from the fascist German phrase, where they think that the problem does not affect me. Because when the problem will start affecting them, there will be nobody else that they can go to and protect themselves. And this is again the problem of nuclear energy, which is being seen at the moment from the uranium that is getting mined in an unscientific manner. Please understand that particular thing portion also. In the previous government, they destroyed the entire thorium technology that we actually have, which actually allows us to tap nuclear energy in a much more balanced as well as a sustainable manner, so that the American technology could be accommodated and the rest of the outdated technologies could be accommodated at the cost of the Indian population and the taxpayer. Luckily, in the previous government, that last deal did not go through because of the Kyoto problem that happened. But then it could also happen at the past occasion. The problem that I am raising again here, finally, is that of communication. The communication, the danger that is not reaching the individual and not making the individual understand that they are being suckered and they are being also a part of the problem by not questioning the politicians who are coming in power and letting them do and letting it be the way they want it. So unless and until we have everybody over here raising their voice and supporting you like I do for you, for whatever you're saying, including of course this entire patient, this meeting, nothing's going to happen. We will continue to talk, go back and get back to your own activity. So I will urge everybody, first and foremost, to take moral responsibility and take action. कर्मण्यवादी के रास्ते माँ फलेषु कदाचन माँ कर्मे फलेषु भूमते संगोष्ठी कर्मणि. Thank you.
Very good possible. Waste lot of water, so we have to put a money value and give it to this British company. You have to buy your water from the British company. You know what happened? A revolution happened. All the women in Cochabamba stood up and said, no, this is nonsense. We should buy our water from a British company. Became a news. Similarly, when your skin is touched, a lot of people come together, and they will, when the skin is touched, all the people, they would do this revolution. Revolutions happen like that. You cannot do a revolution every other day of your life. When your values and interests are affected very drastically, people will come together. One more example, Jallikattu issue in Tamil Nadu. The Tamil people are one of the hopeless peoples in the world. And you would take anybody, you would take MGR, Jayalalitha, even you said Pawan Kalyan, you would take him. But when it came to deciding our identity and our cultural value in Delhi, the whole state stood up. No, this cannot happen. This cannot happen. Not all the people who participated in the struggle were participating in this game of valor and courage and all of that. You reach a point, and then people decide enough is enough and come out. We will do that.
Thank you, sir. ఈరోజు మేము నిర్వహించిన బల్బు కొలకల స్మారకకు చాలా మంది వచ్చారు. అందరికీ నాలుగు పెద్దవాళ్ళు వచ్చారు. కృష్ణకి వచ్చింది, అలాగే సుందరగల గారు, హేమత, బాబు గారు బెంగళూరు నుంచి వచ్చారు. ప్రత్యేకంగా చాలా మంది స్వయసంపాదులు, అభిమానులు, అక్కడి కోసం ఆరాటపడేవాళ్ళు, ఈ దేశం కోసం ఆలోచించేవాళ్ళు, ఈ ప్రజల గురించి ఆలోచిస్తారు. చాలా మంది వచ్చారు. అందరికీ అబ్బాయి ఒరిస్సా